What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got some absolutely stunning new Digimon cards to talk about. Now, we did look at the Wargreymon the other day. We got 3 more today in the exact same style. And they're full arts, they're beautiful, they're promos, as in they are numbered promos, but it seems like they are actually chase cards in the set for BT7. They're referred to as campaign cards. I believe they are actually available just pulled out of packs. I think that's what I have been told. So yeah, that is gonna be some rare cards coming around, and as it stands at the moment, these are actually new cards. There is no lower rarity version. Now, whether a lower rarity version will be released in BT7 or the future, I don't know is the honest answer. But at the moment, it seems like these are brand new, never before seen cards. So, let's start off with HerculesKabuterimon because I like playing green. And you can see all of these are full art and have the tamer in the picture. So what we've got is a 12 cost to play normally, 3 cost to Digivolve, 11,000 power. And that's pretty standard, except it's 1 more to play than we would usually expect. When you Digivolve into this card, if you have a tamer in play, you get to suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. And this shouldn't really surprise anybody, the whole requirement to have a tamer in play. These are beautiful full art cards to have tamers on the artwork. It would be a little bit weird at this stage if the effects of these cards were not somehow tied into tamers. So this all makes absolute perfect sense to me. It's fine, but I'm not sure that's good enough. Like, this is green, yeah? And one of the things we can say about green with a high degree of certainty is they are going to suspend your cards. They are going to rest your Digimon. That's kind of what green does. And we don't have to get all the way up to a level 6 in order to do it. There are a million different ways. I mean, Flower Cannon is just a 2 cost that will suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. That's not to say I don't like the skill. I absolutely do like the skill. But it is to say that I'm not sure it's good enough to warrant playing this level 6. You know, we're 7 sets in at this stage, plus EX01. We've got a lot of level 6s at this stage. So we need something special to really make us play them, and I'm not sure resting one Digimon when you play it, if you've got a tamer in play, is really going to end up actually being good enough. But it's not the only skill we've got here. When you are attacking, when this Digimon destroys or deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle and survives, gain 1 memory. Cool. I'm not sure, though. Again, you're gaining a memory. Gaining a memory is cool. Just like resting or suspending a Digimon is cool. But I still don't know how much I love this. Because it's just a level 6 that's gaining a memory. And the thing is, we've got this as an inheritable skill, this exact skill, on Stingmon, who's a level 4. So if we use that as our evolution source, we can actually have this for any level 5 or level 6. Speaking of which, we've also got it on Okumamon, who is also a non-level 6. We've got a level 5 here. So actually, we can have the level 4 and the level 5, and then when we delete a Digimon and survive, we gain 2 memory. Of course, if we're playing that game, we could go, well, hang on a second. Why stop there? Why not start off with Stingmon, evolve into Okumamon, and then evolve up into HerculesKabuterimon, and then when you delete an opponent's Digimon in battle and survive, you gain 3 memory. And I'm going to be honest with you, it's kind of hard to argue against that. That sounds like fun. Gaining 3 memory is clearly a very, very good thing to do. But I'm not sure, again, I'm not sure if this really gives us a good enough reason to play this level 6. The other thing is, of course, this is a when you delete a Digimon in battle and survive, so what you really want here is piercing. So you delete a Digimon in battle and survive, gain the memory, and then piercing comes along, and lets you attack a security card as well. And annoyingly, the HerculesKabuterimon from BT1 does have piercing. The HerculesKabuterimon from the starter deck does have piercing, but for some reason this one doesn't have piercing. It would be really good if it did have piercing. It would help us out a lot. But this is the third HerculesKabuterimon we've seen, and unfortunately, the first one that comes along and doesn't have piercing. So I'm not sure this is good enough, and I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I like both the skills here. Both the skills here are cool. I just don't know if they're actually good enough. And I'm sorry. I'm going to go ahead and give this 3 Wassies. I don't think it's a bad card. Let's be clear. I do not think it's a bad card. But I don't think there's anything here that makes me really want to build a deck around it. And at this stage, we've got so many level 6s that I really do want to build a deck around. But how about another red? Yeah, we've seen 4 of these and apparently 2 of them are red. How about Phoenixmon? So and I love that the tamer there is just copying the pose of the Digimon. That makes me very happy indeed. So we got an 11 cost to play normally, 3 cost to Digivolve, 11,000 power. That is exactly what we would expect from your average level 6, so that's good. And then what we've got here are a couple of skills. When you evolve, if you control the tamer, you gain security attack +1 until the end of this turn. Nice. Now, once again, you've got to have a tamer in order to actually make this work, but once again, the whole point here is that these are cards that are kind of built around tamers, so that makes perfect sense. And once again, I don't know if just having security attack +1 is going to be good enough to make me want to play this card. I mean, bearing in mind back in the starter deck, the very first starter deck, we had the level 4 Greymon, which just gives you security attack +1. Now, again, we can make that same argument of why don't we just play the pair of them together and then we'll have security attack +2, but there are other level 6s that have security attack +1. The Wargreymon from BT1 that also ignores security skills that come out on option cards when you're attacking the stack would be a nice little example there. Or Ancient Greymon for each Digimon in your Digivolution cards with Greymon in its name or hybrid in its form. You get security attack +1. Security attack, as in having extra ones of them, that is very much a red thing to do. Red are the big aggressive colour. They want that extra security attack, and I just end up thinking, very much like I did a moment ago with HerculesKabuterimon, is it actually good enough? And the answer is, I'm not 100% sure. Now, the good news is that's not all we have here. On your turn, once per turn, when your attack is blocked, you trash 1 card from the top of your opponent's security. And this makes me want to play it. HerculesKabuterimon never got to the stage where I wanted to play it. Phoenixmon, oh my goodness, absolutely does. And we've talked about this recently. I told you, literally just a couple of days ago, day ago, it really depends the order in which I upload them, alright? There's so much news coming around at the moment, it gets hard to keep up. But I told you about Emperor Greymon, where when you were blocked, you unsuspended a Digimon and gained 1 memory for each Digimon with hybrid in its form in your Digivolution cards. And I told you when we looked at Emperor Greymon that you're not actually going to get blocked, because the downside for your opponent of blocking is too high. Well, here, you're working on extra security attack. You may be taking out 3-4 security cards with your attack to the point where your opponent is forced to block you because you're taking out too many security cards. Your opponent literally has to block you or else they're going to fall too far behind in the game. But then when they do block you, you get to trash a card from the top of their security stack, and that's what's so good here. You can build up a Digimon, and you're going to build this up to have extra security attacks. That is how we're going to do this. And then your opponent is 100% going to have to block you. And then when they have to block you, you're going to get rid of a security card anyway. So yes, they get to block you, but no, it's not going to do as much as it usually would. And I like this a lot, ladies and gentlemen. This is good. I'm giving this one 4 Wassies, and honestly, that feels a little bit low. I was not impressed by HerculesKabuterimon. I very much am impressed by this. This is very, very cool indeed. And I was actually going to go back and edit my video and try and put it in seamlessly, but I'm going to do this more organically, because I've just had another look at HerculesKabuterimon, because I really want to love that card, because I like HerculesKabuterimon as a Digimon, and I've just realised that this isn't limited to once during your turn. It is when attacking. When this Digimon deletes one of your opponent's Digimon by battle and survives, gain a memory. Now, admittedly, the Stingmon that I suggested using with it, gaining the memory, is limited to once per turn, but on the Okuwamon it is not. So if you can continually attack and continually make yourself active again, you could, in theory here, actually build up to a really, really fun thing. Also, don't forget we've got Dimension Scissor. When one of your Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle and survives, you unsuspend it. So there is a combo to be made here with Dimension Scissor and Okuwamon, where every time you delete a Digimon in battle and survive, you gain 2 memory and then unsuspend. And it's a super awkward combo. It relies on you having the option card in your hand, etc., etc. But you've got 11,000 power. You could go around doing a little bit of a board wipe here while gaining a whole bunch of memory. So, I don't know. Maybe this is where we start thinking about this in a different light. Maybe I have not given enough love to HerculesKabuterimon yet, because maybe with Dimension Scissor, we could actually start making this work, where we could be deleting Digimon and gaining a whole bunch of memory. Having said that, Dimension Scissor was one of the cards I got really excited about in the very, very first set, because the theory was use it with HerculesKabuterimon, and you've got 15,000 power on your turn. When you delete a Digimon in battle, you get piercing, so you take the security stack as well, and then you just keep using Dimension Scissor and HerculesKabuterimon to take out your opponent's Digimon while attacking a stack with 15,000 power. And to put it bluntly, that's never ended up working, but it's a combo I'm excited about, so I just wanted to mention it here. Now, there is one more we need to have a little bit of a look at here. It is Vikemon. Now, here we've got a 12 cost to play normally, 4 cost to Digivolve, 11,000 power. So both of the costs are 1 higher than we would expect. The power isn't, so there's going to need to be something good going on here. Well, when you evolve, if you control a tamer, yes, it's that same thing again. Choose 3 of your opponent's Digimon with no evolution sources. They cannot attack until the end of your opponent's next turn. Now, unlike some similar things we've seen in the past, they can block. It is just stopping them attacking, but this is still really cool. It means if your opponent's got Digimon with extra security attack or whatever, if they've got something that they can use to start doing a whole bunch of damage, this will come along and stop them doing so. That is wonderful. It essentially lets you turn off 3 of your opponent's Digimon. It is just an evolution skill and it is a one-time deal, but this will buy you a bunch of time. Again, I'm not sure if this really makes it good enough to really build a deck around, because it is a one-time deal, it is an evolution skill, and you got to have a tamer in play, and then you got that awkward question of, well, I don't really want to stop them attacking this turn, but I might in a couple of turns' time, so am I going to hold my big, powerful level 6 I want to attack with just to maybe activate this later in the game, which is a decision you don't have to make with all your other level 6s. It can be a little bit awkward. But there's also a skill when you attack, limited to once per turn. Return one of your opponent's Digimon that doesn't have any evolution sources to their hand. And again, this is a metagame call. This is a very specific thing. Sometimes this will work beautifully, and sometimes it won't, to be blunt with you. Because you see, if you're against something like Megazoo, where your opponent is trying to hardcast big Digimon, then putting one back to their hand is going to put them back an entire turn and like 10 memory, and this is awesome. If you're playing against Rookie Rush, this is nice. But then by the same token, you're only putting a rookie back to the hand. It's 3 or 4 memory tops. It's not as good. And then, of course, we've got all of those decks that are just trying to evolve up normally, and they're just going to kind of ignore you. Now, absolutely, you can be playing one of those blue decks, and there are a bunch of these blue decks around that are just planning to get rid of all your evolution skills, and then something like this will be awesome. But is that something you really want to rely on? That you're going to be able to get rid of all their evolution sources at the right time to really make this work? Maybe. So what I'm going to say to you is this. If you are playing one of those blue decks that looks to get rid of evolution sources, I like Vikemon. Because you can turn 3 of them off, and because you can keep returning them to your hand, or your opponent's hand. But if you're not, I don't like Vikemon. Because the first skill only works if you control a tamer, and it only works on Digimon with no evolution sources, and the second skill only works on Digimon with no evolution sources. It's too awkward. But I do like Phoenixmon a lot, and HerculesKabuterimon, there's a really awkward combo which probably won't work, but I am definitely gonna try. But oh wait, we never gave a score to Vikemon, did we? It's another 3 Wassies. I'm sorry, I want it to be better than I think it's going to end up being. But I want to know what you think about all of these cards, ladies and gentlemen, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassie. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wassie Plays.